So here we go. It turns out I'm trying to use the second derivative to help me, my second derivative sign chart, to help me find out what these critical values are. And yet it helped me with the 8. I noticed that 8 would be on a part of the graph that's concave up. And if I have a graph that's concave up and there's any kind of extreme value, it must be a minimum. And yet right here, I don't know what's happening because 0 doesn't tell me enough information. This is rare, but it does happen. I'm trying to show you that you can use the second derivative sign chart to help you find whether these are maximums or minimums or inflection points. But every once in a while, it doesn't work. So alas, we did have to make a sign chart for the first derivative just so we would know what's happening at 0. Now, once again, for the sign chart here, I plug these in the derivative to tell me if it's increasing or decreasing. And for the sign chart down here, I plug these into the second derivative to tell me the concavity. You want concavity? Second. You want to know extrema? First. So looking at this, it's easy to tell if I go from increasing to decreasing, I must have had a maximum right there at 0. It's going to be a very odd looking graph. I plug 0 into the original function to get the y-coordinate. And now we have all the stuff that we need to draw a very nice picture of this. Let's proceed. I can plot specific points like my x-intercepts here. I can plot points like my minimum and my inflection point, as well as that maximum right there. Then all I have to do is kind of connect the dots with the concavity. I can tell that from 0 to 1, this is concave down. And from 1 to infinity, this graph is concave up. Now the odd thing is, before 0, I also have some sort of concavity there. And exactly how I know which way it's going, I know this is an increasing function, therefore it has to look something like this. I'll give you a tip though, because 0 actually made the second derivative undefined. This is not a smooth curve here. It's actually 2 different curves coming in. It is not differentiable at that moment at 0. Actually, the first derivative is, but the second isn't. It's going to look a little odd, but that's the basic shape of the graph. This is a very strange graph. It's not usual, but that's why I picked that out as an example. Notice that I break it down by the function, the first derivative, and the second derivative. I stick to those areas. I glean everything I can from them. And if I can cheat and use less work, I'll use just the sign chart from the second derivative to help me with everything. This was an exceptional problem. I did need to make a sign chart for the first derivative, but most of the time you won't. So it's your choice what you want to do there. Good luck, and once again, practice as many of these as you can. You'll get better, you'll remember all the details better, and it's all about remembering which equation to use. Do you want your y values, your slopes, or your concavity? And that will tell you the whole picture. Thanks.